What would you prefer? 497,978 views, 1,200 new subscribers, 3,500 likes, 242 comments, and no money? Or a couple of hundred views, no comments, no likes, no new subscribers, and a $15,000 client? Well, I know what I'd prefer. The point is not to get views, the point is to get clients, right? So in this video, I'm going to break down the only content system that makes sense for digital agency owners. So this chart explains why some content gets views and not clients. You've got two variables. You've got audience fit and you've got depth of content, right? And you've got low and high. And you've got a quadrant. And so low fit, low depth content is stuff like, trending audio, the 3 key takeaways this week, and, quote cards, motivational quote cards. This is the kind of content that creators go after because the algorithm rewards them. This is the kind of content that gets views but is forgotten tomorrow, okay? Up here, you've got content that might be great in terms of the depth that you're going into to teach, but it's just not for the right ICP. And up here, you might be teaching great content, so A+ for that, but your ICP is just all wrong. So this would be like me teaching you how to get your first client if you're starting a brand new agency. That's just not where we do our best work. Might be super helpful content, but it's the wrong ICP for me. It's the wrong audience, right? We do our best work with established digital agency owners who already have existing clients. I'll come back and tell you a story in a moment about the video that we produced that's had 497,000 views and generated zero revenue. I'll show you that in a moment. Here, you've got content that's potentially high fit for your audience, but no value. There's no depth to it at all. Think about, your stupid behind the scenes footage that no one cares about, you showing off your new logo, or even worse, all that lifestyle vlogging that you're doing because you want to be famous on the internet. And where you want to be is this high fit, very deep content that you're producing. So it's, again, super helpful for your target audience, for your ideal client. Ideally, you show some results of where you've done this before, and this here is where the money is. This quadrant shortens sales cycles. It allows you to put your pricing up, and this is where people start to quote your content back to you on sales calls. So that a sales call just becomes about logistics. You're not convincing them that you're the right person for the job. Creators optimize for this content because they get rewarded by the algorithm, and business owners should be optimizing for this content because you get rewarded with revenue. So if you want buyers, stop asking, did this get views? And start asking, did the right people see enough value? And then every video you make should be moving you up and to the right. So I told you I'd show this. Check it out. 497,978 views since it was published on the 13th of May 2019. That date should give you some clues. We published this video, how to run Zoom meetings with an iPad, because that was becoming a thing. And a lot of agencies were starting to run Zoom meetings and they wanted to be able to do it without being stuck to their office or their desk. They want to be able to do it from a meeting room. So we published this video thinking that we were being super helpful. 2020, the world goes into lockdown because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And all of a sudden, this thing went viral, right? 1,200 new subscribers, massive watch time, 18.9 thousand watch time hours from that one video. As I said, 242 comments and 3,500 likes, and meant absolutely zero to our business. As opposed to some of our podcast episodes that have had less than a couple of hundred views, no comments, no new subscribers, no likes, no shares. And people turn up on sales calls and they quote those podcast episodes back to us, and they become clients that are worth $15,000, $30,000, $50,000, $100,000 over time. So ask yourself, what is the point here? Is the point to get views, or is the point to get clients? I think the point is to get clients. So let me show you how to produce content that gets clients. So here are the 4 stages to any piece of content that you're going to produce, okay? The first stage is you're going to use the first part of your content to filter out and filter in the right ICP. And so I will mention, most of the time, I will mention digital agency owners in the first 30 seconds of any of our videos, because I want digital agency owners to continue to consume the content. And what I actually want is everyone else to eject and leave because they know it's not right for them. Remember, I only want my ideal client consuming my content. And the second part of your content is, now that we've identified who it's for, is you teach. And again, you want whoever's watching to get massive value from what it is you're teaching so that they continue. And maybe some of the people who are left are going to bounce because they already know that thing, or it's not relevant to them, or they're not ready to hear it, and that's totally fine. The third part of your content here is you want to prove that you've done it before. Super easy with case studies, testimonials, screenshots. I just showed you a screenshot of one of our YouTube videos and the analytics from inside our YouTube account. That's me kind of proving that what I'm talking about here is lived experience and not just theory. And again, you want the right people here to continue on your content, and you want people who are not quite ready or not believing to eject, right? And then of course, the final part of any content is the call to action, which isn't necessarily always book a call. It might be leave a comment to get a free thing. It might be go follow me on Instagram and send me a DM. It might be tell me what you want to learn next. It might be book a call. It might be come and join our free community, whatever your call to action is, okay? Now remember, if the wrong people leave here, that's not a problem. That's the algorithm doing its job, and that's the system working, because we only want qualified conversations coming through this pipeline. Every piece of content should be nudging the right type of prospect to have a conversation with you, right? So the goal is to filter hard, teach deep, prove results, and then convert easier. And sales calls get easy when you've got this infrastructure in place. If you do this, you don't need to go viral. You just need the right people to binge the right things. So most people treat content like a stage, like they treat social media like a performance. You show up, you perform, you get the applause, and then it's over. And stage content is built for the moment. So I think trending audio, like I said before, hot takes, look at me posts, right? It can spike attention, you can get views, but the value expires very quickly, and tomorrow you're back on the treadmill just trying to think of more content to get more attention. I like to think of content as a library. Library content is indexed, it's searchable, it's built to be useful 2 years from now. True story, I did work experience when I was 14 years old in the public library, and this is the days before the internet. And so we had the old Dewey system and the index cards, and someone would come in and ask for a particular topic, and you would pull out the index cards and go through the cards and try and find the right book for them. That is where you want your content to be. You want your content to be in the index cards, in the Dewey system, so that the librarian, in other words, Google, Perplexity, ChatGPT, YouTube, is recommending your content when people are asking those questions. And here's the leverage part of this, is that one person can consume hours of your content before they ever talk to you. So when they finally book a call, they're not cold, they're not even warm, they're pre-sold. So stage content just rents attention. You're just renting the eyeballs of the major social media platforms for a little bit of attention, yeah? Library content builds assets. So if you're a digital agency owner, stop performing for strangers and start stocking the shelves for buyers. And remember, if you make super helpful content for the wrong ICP, the algorithm is going to mislabel you, and then the librarian starts to recommend your content to the wrong reader. So please stop trying to be interesting to everyone and just be super helpful to the handful of people who can actually buy from you. All right, I hope you found this helpful. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. I'm Troy Dean. Let's get to work.